Alright guys, and welcome back to the channel. Right, in this episode I want to get this C20 Elect converted Nova test driven. So I've been building this car for the last few months. If you haven't already seen the videos, please hit the subscribe button and look at the playlist so you can see all the videos of the build start to finish. So you're probably thinking the car looks pretty much done, what's left to do? Well, we've got a couple of little bits before we can drive it. Main thing is there's no front brakes. There's the disc fitted, but we ditched the Willwoods in one of the last videos because we couldn't get them to fit with these Speedline wheels. We needed wheel spacers. We didn't want to run wheel spacers. So we're going back to 256 for 24 Astra GTE 16 valve brakes, which are more than good enough if I'm honest. So let's start doing that. So these are the brakes we're going to be using. Now, these are standard ATE brakes as fitted to 2-litre Cavaliers, some Vectra Bs, Astra Mark 3s, Mark 2s, quite a few things. They are more than good enough for this kind of car. It's very lightweight after all. So they're very dirty, very rusty. We need to make them look a bit better. Excuse the sweat again, it's a very hot day. Now these are a set that I've already started to clean up. So this is the other side to that one basically. Now these were just as rusty when I got them. What I've done is I've stripped them all down, I've taken the pistons out, I've wire wheeled them, I've cleaned them all up with sandpaper, and then I've X-primed them. So these are now ready to be painted red. So let's make that side look like that side. Right, so first off, I popped the piston out. I did this using compressed air. So I literally took the banjo out, put a little bit of air in, put a rag in here, and you'll just a little bit at a time, and you'll just see it slowly come out. When it gets to about here, don't put as much pressure on because it's going to pop all of a sudden, and don't get your fingers trapped because it might hurt. So that's the piston. There's an O-ring in there, which we'll take out with a screwdriver in a minute. And then there's a dust seal like this, which goes around the outside of the piston, just to stop debris. Now with these, I always clean them up with some fine sandpaper. Same within here, just clean it up a little bit. And then clean the seal with some brake cleaner. And then I put it all back together with some brake fluid just to lubricate it all. Put it back together. You can buy new seals, but generally I find they're okay. Again, like this, there's no splits in it or anything. So yeah, I'll just clean it, put it back together. So next job's the retaining spring. Now this will just prise out or wiggle out. It's kind of been painted over, so like so. That basically is just like an anti-rattle, just holds it all together. Now we're going to take these bits out here. Now the sliders go through here, and if there's a bit of rust underneath here, it makes the sliders tight. And 9 times out of 10 there's rust under here. So if you pop these out with a little screwdriver, clean the inside with a wire wheel, put it back together with some silicone grease, that's going to slide lovely and it's going to be like a brand new caliper. There you go, as you can see it's pretty rusty in there. So like I say, once that's cleaned up, that's going to be a lot better. Right, so next job, this bleed nipple. Now these can get really tight and they can snap off really easy. The top tip from me is to give it a couple of good smacks with a hammer first. That just helps release it. 9mm socket. And there we go. The amount of people that break these because they don't do that is unreal. Again, we're going to clean that up. Right, last job is just to take this seal out. So it's a square O-ring and it comes out very, very easily, like so. Right, that's the O-ring. Again, when we clean it, we're going to use a bit of rag, bit of brake cleaner, a bit of brake fluid. If you use anything oil-based, it could make the seal expand, meaning it's not going to work anymore. Obviously, these are designed to run in brake fluid, so that's fine. Right, one rusty caliper. Right, next up's the slider. So the pads slot in here and they can slide up and down. And then the caliper slides on these bits here. These are the sliding pins and the rubber bit goes around here. So as you can imagine, if there's rust behind them, they're going to get tight and it's not going to work properly. Again, give these a tap. And it's a 7mm Allen key, which is a bit of an unusual size. And they should just come out. Now, ATE brakes are standard on a lot of German stuff. Volkswagen, Audi group cars. I think Mercs have them, lower level Mercs. Obviously a lot of Vauxhalls, Opels, Saabs, them kind of things. So they're pretty easy to get parts for. There we go, there's the sliding pins out. Right, next job is to start cleaning this up. So I'm going to use a wire wheel on a grinder. These wire wheels are really good, but they're also really dangerous. So for God's sake, wear eye protection, cover your face, wear gloves, and take your time. Once I've gone over the whole thing with the wire wheel, I then move on to a drill with a smaller wire wheel just to do the smaller areas, the more intricate areas which you can't really get to with the grinder. And then I just kind of go over with a flap disc just to smooth some of the rough areas off, some of the casting marks, etc, etc. And then they're ready. Right, so there we go, all clean back, looking lovely again. So I'm going to give it some extra primer, just standard Q-pole stuff. And then she can have some 2K top coat. Right, now that's done, it's time for some top coat, which I'm going to use some direct gloss red 2K paint, which works really well and should last really well. So it's been 24 hours since I painted these calipers. I've quickly just built them back up. So I put the seals back in with some grease, silicone grease, remember. Put these back in the sliders, just clean everything back up, put it back together, nice and easy. Now we can reassemble the brakes. So the discs are already on, as you can see. First job's to put a hanger on. Now I have cleaned up the areas where the pads sit, just to make things fit a little bit better. Now these are 12mm bolts holding the hanger on. They've got a 10mm Allen key head, and I just do them up as tight as I can with a 1/2 inch ratchet. Nice and simple. Right, now it's time to stick the pads in. Nicely does it. Slider pins, I'm just going to use a little bit of silicone lube on these. They slide in like so. And fasten with a 7mm Allen key. And finally, the anti-rattle clip, spring clip, whatever you want to call it. Beautiful. Right, now the caliper's on, we can fit the brake hose. So this literally just goes on like so, copper washer either side of the hose. The hose should point upwards. There's a little square bracket here just to align it to. It's just pretty straightforward. You can't really get it wrong. It's done up with an 11mm spanner or socket. And then it's just a case of pushing the hose through this little bracket here. Again, it should only be able to go in one place. And slide in the new clip in. And then fit the brake pipe in the hose. So the other side caliper's now on, all tight. Now we're bleeding the brakes. So literally I've got a bleed bottle, pressurised the system at the top with a pressure bleeder. All we're doing is opening the nipple, letting some fluid come out, and as you can see, that's some air in there. So we just want to do it until the air stops. There's a big bit of air there. It's all running out. Lock it off. And repeat the process on the other side. Really simple. So rear brakes are exactly the same process. I've got the pipe on, bit of pressure in the system. Now I'm just going to undo it. As you can see, there's a bit of air in it. Now this one's the furthest away from the cylinder, so I'm just going to run it through for a little bit, just to get the crap out of the old fluid. So we've also got a set of wheel spacers for the back because the speed lines are catching the coilovers. So these are 5mm thick. They fit properly, the proper Vauxhall ones. And we've got 5mm longer bolts, so we can do a proper job. Right, happy with that, so I can lock that off now. I did just clean the face of this hub up before I put the spacer on. Now let's put the wheel back on. Right, back on the floor, torque the wheels up. Right, again, I'm a sweaty mess, but let's road test it. Right, so it's been a few days, guys. We're on a test drive of the Nova. Now, this isn't the first test drive. I'd be lying if I said it was. I put it back together and we've had a few boost issues, which I've tried to resolve. I've basically put it down to I think the turbo is not very good. I think it needs a new turbo. So we've got a turbo on order. If you want to know how I diagnose that, if you want to know any more information on the turbo, drop me a comment below. If I get enough comments, I might do a separate video. But anyway, it's on the road. It's road legal. But like I say, it isn't boosting properly. There's definitely issues, which is very annoying. But it does drive okay. There is a slight intermittent misfire. It doesn't always happen. If I'm honest, it's worse today than ever before. So don't know what that is. Yeah, the turbo was only really boosted to 5 or 6 psi. What I've found basically is the turbo is kind of like, I don't really know what's happened, but the compressor side of the turbo is actually starting to wobble around. It's loose. So I'd imagine it's probably done some harm inside the turbo. It was a freshly built turbo by somebody. We bought it like that, but yeah, I'm not really sure what's gone on. Definitely an issue, unfortunately. But yeah, we're gonna look and get a KRS turbo, which are very, very well known in the Cavalier turbo world, C20 LET turbo world. So yeah, we're gonna get one of them. They're tried and tested. I think they're a bit better than standard anyway. But yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. I wanted it to be right the first time. Tried to build it to be right first time, and it isn't. It's one of them things. I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. This is what happens when you're using like 30-year-old parts. It can't always be perfect. But anyway, I'll quickly show you what it goes like. Second gear. It's not bad, it's pretty lively. It's not quite as fast as mine, which was boosting to nearly 10 psi then, but it's just intermittent. It's not always doing it. It's not right. Another issue we've definitely got is the wideband doesn't seem to be working. So I'm just going to do third gear power run. So third gear. As you can see, that wideband's not really reading. So yeah, something else we need to look at, unfortunately. Oh, another thing is the 5th gear doesn't work. I think the gear link keeps on setting up again. But yeah, it does drive nice. Steering straight. Running well, other than the turbo issue. So, I think I'm going to wrap the video up there, guys. Hit the subscribe button, support the channel, and hopefully next week's video will have this up and running properly, hopefully, or maybe the week after, who knows. Stay tuned for more, guys. See you later. Bye bye.